Hello, I'm McCool, here to present to you my top 15 albums of 2010. And why 15, you may ask? Well, 15 is the new 10, of course. And I actually like 2010 quite a bit. There's a lot of wonderful albums that did not make this list, but you gotta cut the line somewhere because this video can only be so long. And let's get right to it. First album goes to an artist who needs absolutely no introduction, Erykah Badu, with their album New America Part 2, Return of the Ankh. And Return of the Ankh is actually a lot less zealous approach to Erykah Badu's style of neo-soul music, which may be a bad or a good thing depending on who you are. But to me, the Return of the Ankh is still very well produced and quite a bit ambitious, even if it may sound a bit like lounge music. So, 14th spot goes to Titus and Andronicus with their album The Monitor. And I know The Monitor's kind of been described as this like Civil War rock opera by a lot of people, and I hope that doesn't turn too many people away because this album is actually well thought out, very well thought out, and kind of gives you the feel of Civil War, even though I guess rock music wasn't invented back then. It's kind of very rustic feel. Perhaps a good album to listen to at a old barn. I mean, yeah, old bar or something like that. So yeah, next album. I actually don't have the next album. Do not own it. Nevertheless, it is quite great, and it's the Body's album, All the Water of the Earth Turned to Blood. And might not be the biggest metal connoisseur, but for any of you metal fans watching this video, you can let me know whether this is a good or bad album. But I just thought it was quite enjoyable. It's been kind of described as this arty experimental doom album, but to me it was easy to digest. There was this like 9-minute opener that is just purely a female choir, and it's quite angelic. And on the third song, it's a looped like Mongolian throat singing song, which is pretty badass. And then the guitar on this album is pretty dredgy, which just makes the album all the more epic. So yeah, number 12 spot goes to an album that may be a little bit influential in the future, and that is Mount Kimbie's Crooks and Lovers. It's kind of a liquidy based dubstep kind of album. I think they've been crowned with a genre named post dubstep. And the only thing you can think of when you hear the name dubstep is the word dubstep is burial. This is nothing like burial. Actually, it's music's a lot more organic, a very alive feel to it, and perhaps let's listen to like outdoors, like on the beach or something. So yeah, well, now the number 11 spot goes to the Louisiana rapper Currency, the album Pilot Talk, which Pilot Talk is a very chill, dope smoking, hang out with friends, hang out with Snoop Dogg kind of album. To me, it was a very consistent and extremely addicting album. So yeah, I've had lots of fun listening to it the past year, and yeah, check out Currency and Free Boozy. So yeah, next album goes to an artist who's actually quite similar to Mount Kimbie, which is Gold Panda's Lucky Shinner. And Lucky Shinner, probably actually a better comparison to another artist would be Fortet, with more of like a central South Asian influence to it. But yeah, the album's kind of a bit dusty, but nevertheless quite pleasant. So yeah, next spot goes to Onra's Long Distance, and if you listen to Onra's previous work, it was like this Vietnamese sampled album which he got all of his tracks from his old grandma's vinyl collection, and this is actually quite a bit different. It's like a throwback to 80s R&B, disco, funk, and electro music. Quite fitting for like a Burt Reynolds montage, or playing GTA Vice City, or playing Vice City with Burt Reynolds would be all much more better. But yeah, I think there's like one or two duds on this album, but you know, there's 21 freaking tracks on this thing. So if you're gonna have like a total 80s dance party, this is the perfect thing to throw on. So yeah, number 9 spot goes to the lesser known member of Outkast, Big Boy. It's his album Sir Lucious Leftfoot, the son of Cinco Dusty, and this album kind of like falls with in the realm of like stereotypical cockiness that a lot of rappers are, but you know, what makes this album kind of like separates it from kind of those albums is just how diverse and sick the beats are. Every single song. I mean, every single song is a standalone single, and perhaps you're more of just an underground kind of hip hop guy, and you know can't stand that stuff. So maybe this album isn't for you. But if you consider yourself an Outkast fan, I would say this album is absolutely crucial to listen to. So yeah, going in a different direction with this next album at my number 7 spot, Endless Falls by Loscil. If you enjoy The Sound of Rain as much as me, you're gonna absolutely love this album. It's a very dark and gloomy album, but kind of what makes this album great is all the different types of imitations of rain that creates in his music. I mean, you kind of got like these parts where it feels like the rain's like downpouring, or just like there's a slight drizzle, or like water dripping from leaky pipes. So yeah, Endless Falls, Ambient Album of the Year. Check it out. Next album goes to the very talented and always ambitious Sufjan Stevens, The Age of Oz. And The Age of Oz is much more much more electronic, kind of like Sufjan Stevens' earlier work, but still kind of falls within the same realm of his orchestrated and folky music that he made in the mid 2000s. So it's pretty neat hearing like a whole collage of his music career coming into one Colossus album. So yeah, top 5 here. So shit's getting real, and of course number 5 spot goes to Kanye West with his album My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. And you know, I know that a lot of people have made really long, detailed reviews of this, you know, saying what the errors and mistakes of this album were, and you know, I got my own, but you know, there's so many redeeming moments in this album that, you know, I could really care less about what's bad about it. It just feels like such a creative anomaly, and just a lot of great samples on it, especially like the Aphex Twin sample on the song Blame Game. And I know a lot of people complain about how long some of the tracks are on this album, but quite honestly, I could listen to a lot of these tracks all day long. And you know, I think if you can create a repetitive beat that you know, sounds so good, you can listen to it all day long. You know, that's gonna make a great album. So yeah, number 4 spot goes to LCD Sound System, and This Is Happening. And what a way to end LCD Sound System's career, James McMurphy and the crew. So, you know, as much as I love this album, I honestly don't have too much to say about it. Kind of basic LCD Sound System. You know, you got great danceable beats and witty lyrics here and there. And you know, there's not. I don't think there's a song. There's like my absolutely top 2 or 3 favorite LCD Sound Systems tracks on this album, but still, every single song is pretty damn good. And I wouldn't want them to end their career any other way. So yeah, number 3 spot goes to an album that I guess I've never heard anything quite like this. Flying Lotus's Cosmogramma. You know, I've heard a lot of albums that are electronic albums that are kind of loosely based on jazz, or jazz music that's kind of loosely influenced by electronic music, but I don't know which is influenced by which on this album. This album quite deserving of a genre itself, not the artist, but the album. And it's a lot like Space Odyssey, that only like Sun Ra could perhaps dream up, and Flying Lotus on this album made that dream come true. So yeah, number 2 spot goes to an artist that I feel as if she's given me hope for the pop scene, and kind of had my attention all year. So yeah, Janelle Monae, ArchAndroid. And yeah, every time I listen to the ArchAndroid, I get like extremely excited to listen to it. I don't think I've ever felt this way since the Avalanches, since I left you, and that was made a decade ago. So yeah, this album's got a really grandiose feel, which reflects the cover that's referencing the movie Metropolis. And Janelle Monae, she's just got so much energy. She's full of love, full of wonder, and what's she gonna do next? Yeah, so now we're getting to favorite album of 2010. It's kind of hard to pick this album actually, but I felt it should go to an album that I had the least to complain about, and what album that I think was just magnificent the way it was, and that album is Teen Dream by Beach House. An album that's full of love and heartbreak, especially heartbreak, and things used to be as one of those songs go. What makes the song actually really great is the lead vocalist, Victoria Legrand. Her voice is just so lush and beautiful. Carries the album so well. And the songs are really well written, as well as lyrics, and all the instruments are played quite gracefully. But yeah, every time I listen to this album, I kind of get this unconscious feel, because how dreamy it is. Kind of a similar experience I get when I listen to my Bloody Valentine's Loveless. And I guess Loveless is quite a bit louder than this. But nevertheless, those are my favorites of 2010. What are yours? I'd love to hear them. Love to hear whether you thought this was a good year or not. And I got my top 15 list down there, and I got a song attached to each album. So yeah, check out, see if there's some stuff you'd like. Stay cool. I'm cool.